Okay, we just got queued for the Bowl of Embers hard mode, and I'm going to be playing the role of the off tank for a very good reason. I'm choosing not to main tank because, in my opinion, the role of the off tank is actually more important than the main tank because of the need to interrupt Ifrit's eruption AoE cast. If you don't interrupt eruption, it does tremendous AoE damage to the raid. So the real point of this video is I want to demonstrate how you can interrupt all of the eruptions and prevent a shit ton of damage to your raid. Okay, the tank is pulling and he's gonna face the boss away from the raid, and really all I'm gonna be doing is I'm going to be standing in this position, not using any global cooldowns, because there's a chance that Ifrit will cast Eruption after a swipe. He'll do this randomly. This is the hardest eruption to interrupt, so I'm gonna just be standing here auto-attacking from the side. He does this fire breath swipe stuff until he has like 75% health, and then he'll probably end up casting Vulcan Burst, which is a knockback. Okay, so we're just waiting for a possible eruption following a swipe. Still auto-attacking. I don't want to use any global cooldowns because I need Shield Bash ready the instant that he casts Eruption. Okay, there's the first Vulcan Burst, so it's getting close. Interrupt with Shield Bash. There was a 6-second stun. Let me flash. Spirits Within. Now we're gonna, again, watch for an eruption following a swipe, which sometimes happens. Okay, now he just jumped into the air. This ability is called Crimson Cyclone. He'll reappear right here, and we're in phase 1, so he's going to cast Eruption, interrupt. That was a 3-second stun. And we want to always be vigilant for an eruption following a swipe. Okay, there it is. Just got it. Spirits Within. And I'm gonna guess that he'll do a Vulcan Burst next. Actually, I was wrong. Crimson Cyclone. So we just want to stay out of the way and then get back over here. And he's going to cast Eruption. That was a 6-second stun. And again, keep your eye out for the eruption following swipe. It's very difficult to predict. Actually, you can't predict it. Okay, Vulcan Burst. Let's get the interrupt right now. And hopefully he will do a Crimson Cyclone. Okay, there it is, Crimson Cyclone. There he is. We're going to move over here, and he's going to follow this up when he appears with an eruption cast. So I'm going to interrupt now. Let's get a Circle of Scorn, flash. Waiting for an eruption fall. Okay, there's Vulcan Burst. Get in position. Interrupt. Let's wait for an eruption following a swipe. Hopefully he won't do it. They're Radiant Plume. Okay, so we're in phase 2. Now he is going to cast Eruption. Interrupt that. I'm not sure. Okay, yeah, it did stun. A little bit worried about diminishing returns. Okay, Radiant Plume outside. And he's going to cast Crimson Cyclone with 2 clones this time. So we want to look for him. See the left clone? That's the one that charges first. So just watch for the left clone and then come back over here. He does not. We're in phase 2, so he doesn't cast Eruption right now. He should cast Vulcan Burst. Okay, Vulcan Burst. Now he'll cast Eruption. Interrupt that. Radiant Plume on the outside. So let me get behind him. It's still possible for him to cast Eruption following a swipe, so you want to keep your eye out for that. Radiant Plume outside. Now he's going to cast Eruption. Just interrupted that with a 3-second stun. Let's get over here. Don't want to be directly in front of the boss, so I'm going to start shield swiping over here. Radiant Plume outside. Now he's going to cast Crimson Cyclone with 2 clones of himself, so I'm going to back up and just sort of watch. Oh, oops, I was in front of the boss, unfortunately. Okay, Vulcan Burst. Let's get in close. Interrupt. Eruption. Hopefully... Okay. Let's stay... Okay, the nails are up. The DPS need to burn the nails as soon as possible. Waiting for... I can't tell exactly where we are. Okay, Crimson... Actually, no. Let's cast Sentinel. Hallowed Ground. And we are now in phase 3. So we should be doing a Vulcan Burst. Interrupt the eruption there. 6-second stun. He's going to be doing a Radiant Plume on the... I'm sorry, a Crimson Cyclone. Just want to stay here, but I want to keep the camera over there. Okay, look at the left ad. Okay. Come over by the tank. Now he's going to cast Radiant Plume on the outside. Don't want to interrupt that. Now let's move over here. And he's going to cast Radiant Plume on the inside. Now we want to get behind him, and we want to interrupt Eruption with a 3-second stun. Now his rotation should start over, so he should cast, or I'm sorry, Radiant Plume in the middle. I forget about that. There's actually 3 Radiant Plumes in phase 3. Now he should start over with a Vulcan Burst. Waiting for... Okay, there's a Vulcan Burst. We want to get in close. Interrupt. 6-second stun. And he's going to do a Crimson Cyclone, again with 3 clones of himself, so I want to stay here, but I want to keep the camera faced this way so I can see where they appear. Okay, so... that was a little tricky. He's going to reappear by the tank. And he is not going to cast Eruption. Radiant Plume Inner. I think somebody, hopefully nobody interrupted that. Radiant Plume in the center. Okay, get behind him. We're going to interrupt Eruption. Now. And then he is going to do a Radiant Plume in the whole arena, so you want to be right by the tank to dodge that. Okay, we're good there. Now he'll start over with Vulcan Burst, hopefully. Okay, Vulcan Burst. We're going to interrupt Eruption right now. That was a 6-second stun. Should be casting Crimson Cyclone with 3 clones in just a moment, so I want to turn the camera this way so I can see where the clones appear. Actually, let me zoom out too. And, oh my gosh. Okay, get right in between those two. And he's going to reappear right here, but he's not going to cast Eruption. He is going to cast Radiant Plume on the outside. Then he's going to cast Radiant Plume on the inside. I want to wait till he actually starts it. Okay, Radiant Plume on the... Okay, now let's get behind him. We're going to interrupt Eruption. Okay, just interrupted eruption. And he's going to do a Radiant Plume on everywhere except for where the tank's at. So as soon as he... Okay, let's get right here. Now the rotation, the boss's rotation should have reset. So Vulcan Burst in just a moment. Okay, Vulcan Burst. Let's get in close. Interrupt eruption. Radiant Plume on the outer ring. Okay. Oh, actually, I always forget that. It's the Crimson Cyclone with 3 clones. Then Radiant Plume on the inside. He's going to reappear. So we want to get over here. Waiting for Radiant Plume in the center. Get out of the way, and there we go. Pretty straightforward. And that wraps up this video. Thanks for watching.